we are playing The Great American Novel, a game by Christopher Gray. So we are writing a tale about the conflict of generations, about the burden of freedom, and the tangled webs of the politics between family. So we're gonna start by introducing our players and their characters. So we are going around in the order of which they are listed on the chat. So, Luis, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Sure thing. I'm Luis. I go by he and him, and I'll be playing Kenneth Roberts of the archetype The Regretful Soldier. Kenneth was a politician, a young senator, who advocated for the Vietnam War, which is the time period that we're playing in. But he saw it was bullshit, and he regretted being part of it. And so he stepped out of his position and has been dedicating his life to helping people evade drafts, which brought him to the company of the other two characters who were his neighbors in his childhood neighborhood and who are now getting involved with the whole mess of the draft. He's a very somber character. He's haunted by the consequences of his actions, and he's just trying to do his best to make up for what he did.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am playing Sherman Mitchell, he, him. Sherman is a legal student, and he has been deferred from the draft because he's a student up until now. And now his younger brother, Jerry, has been drafted, and he is helping Jerry evade the draft. Sherman has very conservative ideals. He's never really questioned them. He's never really questioned anything much, but he knows that his brother shouldn't go to war because he's too young and not soldier material. He has a fiancée, who is Kenneth's younger sister Rose, and also he feels some kind of attraction to Kenneth, which he can't explain to himself, and which he thinks is weird. But he doesn't see himself as a weird person, so there is some conflict there already. Yeah, and he's, as I said, he uses the playbook The Honorable Guardian, and he's guarding his younger brother, of course, from everything, not only the draft, but socialism and drugs and stuff like that, or he tries to.
Walter, introduce yourself and your character.
Hello. Hi. Sorry, my browser froze for a moment. Hi, I'm Walter, he, him. I'm from San Francisco. I'm going to be playing Jerry Mitchell, and Jerry is a young man, like 18, just graduated from high school, was like looking forward to going to college, and then boom, got a draft notice. He's supposed to report to the recruiting station very soon and start training to get shipped off to Vietnam. Jerry is, I'm playing Jerry as the Cunning Rascal playbook. So Jerry is about living life in the moment and being free, and definitely not on board with joining the draft. I think even before getting the draft notice, Jerry had started listening to Kenneth, who was preaching against Vietnam, and had really sort of taken up Kenneth as like put Kenneth on a pedestal and began to take up Kenneth's mantra as like a as a call, and Kenneth as a mentor. And so now Kenneth, he's totally excited and happy that Kenneth's helping him to evade the draft, because that's what he wants to do. And he's also grateful for his older brother Sherman's help, even though Sherman is a bit of a stick in the mud sometimes. But and that's Jerry.
So we're gonna open our novel on the first chapter, in which we are introduced to our characters, their mundane lives, and by the end of this chapter, they'll be moving right into a large conflict. So we open the scene as a car is crossing up an empty road. The radio is blasting some anti-war song that is passing. The desert in either direction seems to stretch to the infinite. It's like one could be entirely free here, but with freedom will this be? And we close in to the inside of the car, where we see our three characters. And what do we see them doing?
The first thing I want to know is, so I'm imagining that we are in Kenneth's car. Does that sound right? Is Kenneth driving?
I could be. I think I'm the wealthiest one amongst the three of us.
And now who's sitting shotgun? I think Jerry would be happy to, unless Sherman wants to.
I think Sherman kind of assumes that he's going to sit shotgun because somebody has to read the map, right? And he is very, very good at reading maps.
Okay, right on. So then, all right. So Sherman's sounds like reading maps, and then Jerry's gonna be like laying down in the back seat with like his head kind of up against one door and his like feet sticking out the rolled out window of the other door, barefoot.
And Sherman is annoyed by that, but he doesn't say anything. It's just like, oh my God, can't he just sit down like a normal person?
And Kenneth is just driving the car, and I think he's wearing like jeans and a t-shirt. No, that's too plain for him for that time. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into clothes that much. Yeah, he's just like seriously looking at the road and just following the last instruction that Sherman gave him, just following along. And I think it changes the station, like to something that doesn't remind him of the war, just like the weather predictions or something.
So, as Kenneth is fiddling with the radio, suddenly the radio turns to gunfire and screams in some foreign language. And it's, instead of music, it's the sound of the battlefield. And you can hear distant words in English, someone shouting for a medic, and more gunfire, and then static.
Oh boy, I'm guessing this is where the magic part comes in.
What the hell was that, Kenneth? What the heck? I'm sorry. He says, of course, what the heck was that, Kenneth?
Hey, Kenneth, how do you react to that?
So if I want to say that I'm like gonna drive the car off the road because I got so upset, is that gonna cost me a plot point, or do I just do it?
That you just do it, because this is literally a conflict that is happening.
Okay.
So you are driving the car off the road. So
Yeah.
why are you doing that? Are you lashing out?
Here's the thing: it's not. I don't think it's a really. It's a sort of a self-preservation thing. He wants to just like his heart start beating fast, like he's getting PTSD or something. I think he got like when he heard the transmission, so he just wants to pull over immediately and try to calm himself again.
Okay, so I think you are taking care of a need, right?
Maybe protect myself as well.
Both, well, but you are not rising. You are
Okay.
flat. So
All right.
protect yourself is satiate need. So
Okay.
you roll plus instinct.
Will do.
Do you need the roll for? Ah, there you are.
Up here. I got an 8 plus 1. I got a 9.
So, okay, so I would say that you have a success, but there is a caveat. So you just need to calm down. So you turn around and park the car on the side of the road, but you can still hear it. Even if there is only static, you can still hear in your head the gunfire, the shouts, the Viet Cong, and it's getting in a way worse. You can almost smell the blood and you can feel your hands shaking. You are clearly not handling this well.
Yeah, I think Kenneth is clutching the steering wheel, and his hands are turning white because he's holding it so hard, and he's just looking straight ahead and just breathing super hard.
Can the rest of us hear that gunfire too?
Yeah, all of you heard it, but you're not hearing it anymore. There's only static.
Yeah, then again, what the heck was that, Kenneth?
Yeah, he just blocked into this like a crisis mode right now. He's just like taking those like ragged breaths while trying to calm himself.
Jerry sits up in the back seat, pulls his feet in from the window, and he sits in the middle of the back seat so he can lean over between Kenneth and Sherman, and he's like, oh my God, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be there in weeks, months? I don't know. Fucking, I'm supposed to report for basic training soon.
Calm down, both of you. That was just the radio. We're a radio station, right? It's nothing. It's just some communist person who wants to freak us out. You won't go to war, Jerry. It's okay. We're taking you to safety.
Yeah, that's on the radio. It could be real for me. It's supposed to be real for me. They want to send me there. Look at this. I take out the draft piece of paper, the draft card. Look.
Yeah,
look,
that's
it says right here. I'm drafted. I'm going.
Yeah. You're not going.
So I'm gonna offer a plot point to Sabine if I would say that keeping the morale up,
yeah,
getting a real challenge, and how is Sherman reacting to that, as both Jerry and Kenneth are losing it in different ways?
I think he's just trying to keep up the morale, like spouting sort of platitudes, like calming. You won't go there. Don't worry, Jerry. Come on, this is not going to happen. It was just the radio station. Somebody wanted to freak us out. But we are Americans. We don't freak out because of gunfire. Come on, you've heard worse at the range. Really.
So I will say that's a rally because you are flat.
Yeah, okay, I roll flat. That means I'm rolling my 2 blue dice. Yeah, I've got a 7.
Don't forget to add your morality because it's a
Oh,
rally.
wow. Then I've got an 8. Then I've got an A 7. An 8. Sorry. 8.
Okay, so because you are rolling against a novel character, you can get them to concede and calm down. If they do that, they get +1 arc. If not, they continue to freak out.
It's in the conflict with Jerry, not me.
Yeah, it's a conflict with Jerry.
Yeah.
So Walter can choose if they want an increase in arc and they behave favorably.
Oh, okay. So if I can choose if I go with the if I go with it. All right. And then increase an arc then that would like put me at +1 or something.
Yeah,
How does
then
that
you
work?
are rising.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll accept that.
Okay. So how does how did
Can I
you
ask
react? Sorry.
a mechanical question? Did I get a plot point or do I have to spend a plot point?
You get a plot point because I was offering you. If you are the one creating the concept, you spend it. But if you accept the conflict, then you get the plot point, then you get to resolve it. So Walter, so how does Jerry react to this?
Yeah, Jerry kind of sits back and he's like, "Yeah, Sherman, I'm so glad you're here. I was just losing it back home. This is such a great idea to take this road trip and just get away. I want to get as far away as we can. Thank you, Sherman. I needed this so much."
That's okay, Jerry. I'm here for you. I'm your brother, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you were studying in law school, we didn't talk as much, and you know, I don't know. I felt like I was losing you a little bit. It's good to have you home, Sherman.
Oh well, I will go back to law school. You know that, Jerry. I mean, but I'm always there for you if you need me. You know that too, right? But I guess I've got to go back. Can we drive on, Kenneth? Or I mean, it's pretty here.
Yeah, Kenneth, how are you doing now? After the two siblings seem to be ignoring this.
Can it have been enough time for him to calm down?
Yes, I want to offer you a plot point if you want to switch your arc to falling.
So just so we're clear, we're using the beta rules, right?
Yes, and I was going to type it now, but this is a good example. So I can propose that you switch if you accept a plot point, or you can spend a plot point to switch for a move. So basically, even if you are flat, I'm offering you a plot point if you lash out or something else, something that will usually be a falling move.
All right, I'll check my falling moves here. Oh boy, that's the thing about having 3 moves, is that you have to stretch the plot to make them fit. I don't know. They're kind of doing what I want them to do. I think I want them to shut up. Like, I don't have time for the pep talk because I need to focus on calming down. I think I'm just gonna yell at the two of them, just to be quiet for 5 minutes in this fucking trip so I can get my focus back.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you are enforcing your will.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a plot point and roll plus personality.
Okay. I got enough. Trust me, I got more than 10.
Ooh, wow.
So I'm rolling against both of them?
I will say that, yeah, that both of them get to decide how they react. So on this case, and now I'm checking on the beta just in case the resolution moving is that different. Did not look at the time. Okay, no, basically you have full narrative control. So you tell exactly what happened. I did, yeah.
I'm gonna delete the rules column in the
Yeah.
for me. It's just confusing me.
Yeah, otherwise it's too confusing.
I'm gonna focus on the data and just see where I'm at. So, oh wait, I'm just trying to find my way. Sorry. I got a 10 plus. I have full control, and they don't get nothing because it seems like on a 7 plus. Oh, okay. On a 7 plus, they get stuff, and on a 10 plus, I narrate the outcome as well. Is that it? Or do I just narrate whatever I want and they don't get anything?
You just narrate if you get the 10 plus. There is no negotiation.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, and I'm falling now, right?
Well, actually, no. You only get a falling progress if you get 7 plus. So you are not falling. You just have a moment of weakness, and it does not change your character.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he just turns around. Like we focus on his head and the things going on in there, and then it's just like the conversation between Sherman and Jerry has been going on forever. Just rallying Jerry up, make sure he's okay, and then I just surround it, and I'm like, "Can you just shut up for 5 fucking minutes?" It's just like so awful. I just need some time, okay? You two are talking and it's distracting me, and I need to get back on the road. Can we just be quiet for 1 second? God.
So do they actually shut up?
I think Sherman will murmur language when he says fucking, but otherwise he'll be quiet.
Jerry just withdraws to the back seat. It's like, sorry.
So I want to give Walter a plot point to resolve the putting them on a pedestal conflict. How does Jerry feels now that he saw Kenneth like this?
So Jerry blames himself, right? Like Jerry is, you know, I think Jerry's like, actually, what is going on? I think Jerry is like seeing it as like the seriousness of this, right? This came on the radio, and Kenneth has more experience dealing with this, with the politics of this. He's talked to a lot of soldiers who've been there. He's been more directly affected by it than Jerry has. And Jerry's feeling like, I wasn't taking this seriously enough. Like, yeah, Kenneth is totally right. This is serious, and I shouldn't have listened to, I shouldn't have let my brother Sherman calm me down quite too much. Like, this is something that I should still be upset about.
Okay, so get one plot point. I would say that you are trying to befriend. You're trying to put whatever Kenneth said on a good, positive light, and try to use that to grow closer to him. Unless you have another idea of how better represent that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm. Yeah, like, so do you want me to should I like act that out? Like, should I actually say these things? Like, I was just kind of saying like, this is what Jerry's saying. Should it sounds like I should put that into the scene and actually like.
Well, you can put in the
these
scene in part of the inner world, and then then we roll and we see how the rest of the world reacts, and then we play that out.
Okay, so I should roll that as a befriend.
Yeah, so plus personality.
Okay, cool. Oh, that didn't go well. Snake eyes.
Okay, so you get -1 arc, so you go back to flat. And are you doing it to... Okay, let's play it out, because this will clarify this question. So Jerry's thinking like that. So how does that manifest poorly outside? How he's thinking like this for good intentions, but what he does that does not leave that so clear?
So why did like the befriending doesn't go over well, right?
Yeah, because he clearly has good intentions. He's trusting on Kenneth, but that's his inner world. How does the outer world does not match?
Yeah, I mean, probably Jerry like misunderstands Kenneth a bit and externalizes like Jerry's own feelings. So like, I mean, Kenneth is feeling like uneasy about this, but I think to Jerry, it's more like this needs to be something that we need to fight, right? And I think after kind of so okay, so this is how I see it happening. Is Kenneth says, hey, be quiet, just give me room to think here. And at first Jerry's like sits back and says, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. And then after a few moments, Jerry just starts ranting. And he's like, God damn this stupid war, and all they want to do is like kill everybody, and just like why can't we not be going over to this other country and shooting up these people that are just trying to defend themselves in their own country, and la la, and Jerry just starts ranting, right? Which I'm imagining is just going to make it worse for Kenneth, right? But in Jerry's mind, he's like trying to connect with Kenneth and what he thinks Kenneth is feeling in this moment.
Kenneth, how do you react to that? If you don't connect to Jerry, if you are just annoyed at this, you get +1 arc. So how do you react to this?
Well, I want that arc so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna react poorly to it. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna be like red in the face and looking at Jerry with like these piercing eyes, and then I just open the door and step out of the car and slam the door and start like pacing across the side of the road.
Well done. That's what I'm saying to Jerry.
Oh, do you want to start a conflict?
Oh, totally. I want to start a conflict with Kenneth because he's just ranting, and half of the stuff he's saying doesn't make any sense because we're going over there to protect democracy and fight communism, right?
Okay, so spend a plot point and...
Yeah. Cool. I'm trying to find my character first.
So you are making a moral stand.
Of course I am. Yeah, and that means, what do I do for that? Making a moral stand? I'm not rising, so I can't use that one.
I think you are rising because you got plus
No.
1. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because you succeeded on a flat one, so you get plus 1 arc. I put it on the chat.
Okay. I didn't see that. Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'm taking a moral stand. Totally.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you are being honorable on your defense.
Of course I am. I'm always honorable in my defense. I'm like, I'm turning to Jerry and say, what? That wasn't very helpful. And besides, half of what you're saying is just, you're just spouting stuff you heard in some rally or something. Half of that isn't even true. It's about fighting communism, right? It's important. These people, they need defend. This is an internal conflict, but we have to help these people defend their democracy. That's important. It just isn't right that you should go because you're not a soldier, I guess.
Okay, so did you roll it already?
No,
Okay.
I have not rolled. I am rolling. Oh my god, I've rolled a 9, and I'm rolling with my, I think, my morality, so I have a 10. Woo!
Okay, so you have
Cool.
narrative control of the scene.
Very nice. Well, I should say that while Sherman says that, maybe Jerry calms down a little again and just like, okay, but I'm not convinced, and murmurs something too low to really hear, but he's not, it's not like he's convinced, but he's convinced to be quiet and stop shouting and ranting for a moment. I think then Sherman will go and try to talk to Kenneth.
So, so continue, Sabine.
I just wanted to ask what the mechanical ramifications would be here.
None, actually. I don't think you get plus anything, nor them. You just have complete control of the scene. And the conflict is resolved. So I would say that the ideological difference between the two brothers are resolved for this chapter.
Is it, Ludo, I'm still getting familiar with these rules, but is one interpretation maybe that it says results 7+ and then results 10+. Is it that it's like 7+ as opposed to 7 to 9? Like if you roll a 10 or higher, you get all the 7+ and the 10+?
I've been interpreting it like usual PBTA, which is you solve one or another. I don't know if it's different on that, actually. But I'm getting the idea that you get the 10+.
It feels like a bad deal to get a 10+. It's like
yeah, it's true, because you get plot points and whatnot. You really are not getting the best. The two things, they don't have anything contradictory. So let's make a call and let's resolve it that you get 7+, but anything that would be the novelist that decides is instead the character player. I think it might work better. So in this case, yeah.
Oh, wait, I've just read on the beta that I don't get to control another novel character, so I can't say what Jerry is doing, but I can say that I maybe make a good point or seem calming or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's try having the 7+ results too and see how this works. So you get a character point. And so Jerry, does Jerry concede the point or not?
I'm going to say no. I'm not going to concede the point, but I am going to like just kind of be quiet. So I think I'm going to take like the middle ground. So I won't take the +1 arc, but I'm also like clearly kind of like, you know, upset and feel like, you know, like kind of rejected by both Kenneth and Sherman right now, and I'm just gonna kind of grumpily sit in the back seat.
So Sabine, you get +1 arc too, because it was the rising move with Sherman. So we get from the picking of the two siblings, we go back to Kenneth, that is finally at peace. He's feeling the warm sun of the desert on him. There is a surprisingly cold breeze coming away from the direction opposite to the road, and the warm asphalt. And suddenly he sees something that reminds him of his family. What is it that he sees on the desert that reminds him of family?
I see a desert rose. It's just like this impossible rose. I don't know how that's. I think a desert rose is a type of stone, right?
Yeah.
Rose. No, I'm looking it up. It's a plant. But in this case, for the mystery thing, I'm going to say that it's an actual real rose sprouting out of the desert, which is impossible. And he just looked at that, and it's just like the sun is hitting it the right way, and he's remembering like, oh, and also the rose represents socialism. This is so good. Yeah, and he's just like thinking back on his sister and what it means to protect your brother, and it's just going to inspire him to be more patient with Sherman and Jerry, because Sherman is just trying to look out for his little brother, which is what Kenneth is supposed to be doing as well. So he's going to focus on the present.
You are rising, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that you can now create a plot point to turn back on the brothers and reconcile with them. So you can have to create a scene now where you do that.
I think he takes a deep breath and he opens the door of the car and he sits in it and doesn't really say anything, but he turns on the radio again and he puts it back on the protest song.
Okay. What move are you using with that?
I think it's a befriend. I think he starts driving and then he starts singing along to the song to break the tension.
Oh, I really like that. So okay, go ahead, roll personality.
Okay. Oh no. I got a 5. Now, is there a reroll thing? Did it get taken out?
No, it was on the previous version. It's not on the beta rules. It was only on the alpha, I think. I could not find it in the beta.
Okay.
So, okay, you get -1 arc, so you are back into flat. And the conflict is still unresolved. I mean, things have calmed down, or at least none of them are voicing their concerns. But apparently, the bickering between the brothers is going to come back. And as you're going down, tapping there, Jerry, as you see Kenneth going back to being the moral and the inspiration center of the group, you turn back on the car and you see something on the back mirror. You see a car following you. Do you want to accept a plot point?
Okay. What do I do for a plot point?
So you see a police car following behind you, and you see that it's not local police. You recognize that it's federal police, probably people looking out for any perceived draft evaders. So what do you do when you see the feds passing through you on the road?
So I'm gonna say, hey guys, like there's a cop behind us, and I think it's after I look back, I think I kind of like sink down a little bit in my seat, almost like I'm considering like I'm trying to think in my mind, has he seen my head through the rear window yet? Maybe I can just like hide down low in the back seat, but I don't want to look like I'm hiding if he already saw me. So I'm like trying to gauge that in my head, and I'm thinking like, hey guys, look, I think there's a cop behind us. It looks like the Border Patrol. You know, they could be looking for draft dodgers like me. Like, what am I gonna do? I knew I should have got a fake ID before we took this road trip. He's gonna ask for my ID. They're gonna fucking call me in. They're gonna be like, I need your help.
Calm. Let's just keep calm. Maybe he'll pass us. Nothing about us shouts draft dodger, right? Let's just keep calm and maybe pray.
Yeah. But if he asks for my ID, just like go along with the story that I left my ID at home or something, right? Like let's just like Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
relax. We're a group of friends. I'm driving you home so you can see your parents during college break, and I picked up your brother halfway through, and you live with your aunt. I can spin this in a second. We're gonna be okay.
Cool.
And he's
Thanks,
saying
man.
this, but he's stepping the wheel and looking behind every 2 seconds.
So you are just not hiding yourself, just trying to be calm?
Yeah. Just, I mean, well, he's trying to pretend to be calm, but Jerry is like, he's like fist is clenched. He's got white knuckles. He's worried.
Okay, you are flat, right?
I've decided to just like sit up. I feel like if they're gonna pull us over, they're gonna see me anyway. So I'm just like sitting there and just hoping that they don't stop us for anything.
I think you are rallying, so you are getting the other two to work with you. So.
Oh yeah, I'm rallying. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. So let's see if you manage to not gain any attention. Let's see how you roll.
All right. Okay, I got 9, and yeah, so that'll be a 9. I don't think I get any bonus for morality when I'm.
Well, you get +1 arc and a plot point.
I get +1 arc and a plot point for that. Okay, yeah.
So
okay. Cool.
You see the car slowing down as you see a woman with some thick sunglasses looking in your direction. She seems to lock eyes with Jerry and lowers it a bit, but then she sees the two men in front, and she covers her eyes again, and she steps on the pedal and disappears on the horizon. And you see that the road actually breaks into 2 paths. You can continue in front, or you can take a detour to a small town that is labeled by the road mark Troy.
I think we should totally go to Troy because it's on the map, and there might be back roads instead of taking the highway. That's what the map says. And I want to go to Troy anyway, because this is called Iliad, and we should totally go to Troy.
Okay, so this is the end of the chapter. So we got the initial setup, and we are moving right into trouble now. So we move to chapter 2. Everyone gets +1 plot point, and everyone gets to update their motivations. So, what are your motivations for chapter 2? Oh, I should also say what we are going to do for chapter 2. For chapter 2, we're gonna confront the main issue of the novel. We're gonna discover it on this chapter, and we're gonna end up this chapter when a character crosses the threshold and fully engages with the conflict. So, what are your motivations now?
I don't think my motivation has changed right now, because I still want to protect Jerry. And maybe I also want to protect Kenneth, because he seems to be a bit more jittery than I would have thought. Yeah, I want to protect Kenneth too. For reasons.
Yeah. I mean, my main motivation is still to into the draft, or to dodge the draft. And I think also maybe to try and better understand Kenneth. I feel like I feel like the last scene made me doubt my relationship with Kenneth.
I think I'm sticking with the old get them past the draft thing. But that rose made me reminded me of my sister. So I think I want to also talk to Sherman about his engagement.
So, the next chapter opens as you are driving out of the desert and through the muddy back roads, as you start to see scrubland that slowly gives away to water silos and cornfields. And in the middle of that, as a stain that is rising on the horizon, you see the town of Troy. It seems to be a lot of farmsteads and Main Street USA. So, Jerry, what do you see on Troy that reminds you of your hometown?
There's a theater that looks just like the theater in the town I grew up in with Sherman and Kenneth, and yeah, I remember going there every weekend that I could to watch the movies.
So, Kenneth, there seems to still be posters and placards and billboards of some kind of campaign that happened recently. What was it?
Oh boy. I think it was a campaign for one of my cousins who's also in politics. So we have the name Roberts everywhere, like vote Roberts, and it's just all over the city. Like I think he ran for a local position.
And finally, Sherman, you see the local law figure driving in your direction. And how do you know that the local sheriff is someone that tolerates no nonsense?
I think that it is a car, a law enforcement car, and it's polished to the nines. And it also has these little US flags on the hood, like they're fluttering in the wind. And you can just see this guy. He wears sunglasses and he has this really stern jaw, and you can just see that all night he's grinding his teeth because there are lawbreakers out there. And what is weird is he's looking at us, and he's wearing sunglasses, but you still feel like a kid skipping school. And he looks at you. Also, he drives past us, but that guy is weird.
Okay, hopefully that does not come to pass. And so I'm gonna say, Kenneth, do you want a plot point for the sheriff to make you signals with the lights?
To what?
He's going to signal you to stop with the lights if you take a plot point.
Mm-hmm. I'm torn because like I would do it even for free because I just want to see what happens. But yeah, give it a plot point. I got plenty now.
Okay, so the strong-jawed sheriff signals you, and he tins his lips as he steps out of his beautiful Polish car. And just by stopping on the road, it seems a peck of dust landed on it. And he leans over as if judging the speck of dust for every injustice on this world, and slowly blows it. Only then does he rises again and approach you, adjusting the tip of his long brim hat. License and registration, please.
Sure thing, officer. And he's just like trying to not just shake his hand as he pulls the documents out and hands them over.
So he looks at them and looks at the billboards. Part of him wondering if it's just a coincidence, but as his brow wrinkles, it seems that he's not the sort to believe in coincidence. Welcome to Troy. I take that you are the judge's family.
That I'm what? You cut off a little.
I think you are part of the judge's family. Mr.
I'm debating whether to lie or not. Yeah, I'm gonna be forthcoming, I think. Say, yeah, big family, the Roberts family. We've got people all over. I flash in my best version of a politician smile, but now it's just sad on Kenneth's face. Like he lost a lot of his charisma.
He nods and takes a good look at the other two. Be welcome to Troy, but I warn you, there have been some delinquent types around. I will be careful among them. And you can feel him studying you up and down, Jerry, as the youngest one. He's kind of evaluating if, is this a future trouble to me?
Yeah, Jerry's starting to think, gee, maybe I should cut my hair again. I'm getting looks from the sheriff. I've been letting my hair grow too long.
Okay, so Kenneth, you were trying to be forthcoming. So I'll say that is, are you flat or are you rising?
I'm flat, but according to the beta, I can spend a plot point to switch my arc so I can make an arc.
Yes, so you can go befriend if you want, or enforce your will if you want to go nasty.
I'm gonna go with befriend for now.
Okay.
Rolling. Oh boy, 6, but wait. Thank you, +1. I'll never criticize stats again. I got a 7. So if I'm rolling against an NPC, what happens?
So you get the plot point, you get plus arc because you did the rising move.
Okay.
And you seem to have persuaded the sheriff that you are no source of trouble.
Okay.
So the sheriff bids you a good day and goes back into his car, but he does not start. He seems to be watching to see where you drive next.
I wave him like the princess wave, and just like, bye, sheriff. Have a good day. Like just being as cordial as possible, and then I just grit my teeth and I say, nobody do anything. We're going to a hotel. And I just drive to a hotel. A
So,
hotel, like
so where are you going to? Sorry.
a motel, so we can we can be less conspicuous while we're here. Also stretch
Okay.
our legs, use the restroom and everything.
Okay, so
Maybe a diner. That's so American.
oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'm
So,
going to a Denny's or something.
so you park outside of a diner, and you go there, and inside you can see uh, a waiter tending to the diner, and then you see two couple of women, some farmer types, and the trucker on the corner. And each of them seem to be caressing some cold coffee and some cold fries, and just languishing around the dinner. So, what do you do?
I say, I'm gonna wash my face. You two just get a table and try not to call any attention to yourselves, okay?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking for trouble.
No, we're just passing through. I'm going to some table that is maybe. Oh wait, in America you wait to be seated. Is that true for diners? I have no idea.
It depends. I think a lot of diners you just go sit down. I
Okay,
imagine this one.
then I'll just go and sit down somewhere where it's free.
So, Jared, do you sit with your brother?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm imagining like a yeah, we'll go get a booth. I'm having trouble thinking of the detail right now, but I'm imagining that there's like something about one of the locals, like one of the local farmers, that Jerry kind of wants to make fun of, like maybe I don't know, maybe one of them has like his hat kind of off to the side or something, or somehow looks a little bit funny, and Jerry kind of like behind the person's back as they're walking past, kind of like nudges Sherman, and kind of like does the thing like like a hat kind of thing, being kind of goofy, making fun of the local.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you are using a plot point to create a conflict.
Okay.
And I want to say that depending on how the narrative goes, if it's Jerry or if it is going to be a Sherman that solves it. So, as you see your brother mocking the local people, what do you do?
I was actually having my attention on the waiter because he is kind of athletic and well built, and I totally miss the whole thing with the farmer until Jerry gives me a nudge, and then I'm like, "What are you doing? That's a weird farmer."
Exactly.
Exactly.
What would you say that this move is to try not to get to be seen as insulting the locals?
Is this to me? I'm gonna say I think since I'm flat that this is actually satiate, to take care of a need, and I think my need is to to just like be funny and be having a good time everywhere I go.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Are you flat? You have one arc here.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess I do. I forgot I did.
So
okay.
then, well, you can spend a plot point and still do satiate.
I don't think that's worth spending a plot point for.
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe you know what? Then I think I'm trying to befriend Sherman now. I think I'm trying to be like it's like, hey Sherman, we're kind of like a like Sherman, hey, we're cool, and look at this funny person sitting over here.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Go for it.
Also,
All right.
from what I read here, you can use flat anytime, even if you're rising and falling.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
So either interpretation I like. So pick the one you prefer the most for Jerry.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with satiate then. I think like just like needed to be like kind of funny is probably more of what's going on here. So then that'll be also I have a +2 for wait, is it? Oh no, I have +2 for satiate. I actually have a better chance of this. All right. What's wrong with me? I enjoy rolling at disadvantage more than an advantage. I'm such a story gamer. All right. So then I would have rolled 10.
Oh, so get a plot point, mark rising, and yeah, and so it seems that either they don't see your mockery, or if they do, they take it in a light tone, and if anything, it seems to integrate you to them, because this kind of pantomime physical humor is kind of popular here. So as you are doing that in front of Sherman, the waiter approaches, and he's very nice, and he's all smiles, especially to Sherman. Like, oh, please, I don't know you around town. Here, have some coffee, and he starts pouring. We have some freshly done meatloaf, or you can. I can just call the fry cook if you need something else. Just be sure you look starved. Just feel free. Everything is good here.
Well, I look at him, and he probably has a name tag or something.
Yeah, the name tag, it says. Let me open the. Wait.
Can it say Franklin?
Franklin, yeah.
Cool. So I'll say, hey, yeah, we're just passing through Franklin. Thanks for the offer of the coffee, and I think we'll have some meatloaf. A friend of us is coming by, so we have 3, I guess.
Oh, that's great. He disappears.
And I'm looking at him disappear, like kind of distracted. And I mean, Jerry might notice that.
So, Jerry, did you say anything?
Yeah. Jerry's like, look, Sherman, like, I don't know what that was about. You seem to be having a moment with the waiter, but like, otherwise, I totally would have interrupted you and been like, hey, don't order for me. So I'm just saying it to you now. Like, don't order for me. I can order for myself. What's with the meatloaf?
Oh, sorry. I thought we should eat, right? We have a long road ahead of us anyway.
Yeah, but
I don't have anything else.
They must have had something else. Anyway, whatever. I'll let it go.
Yeah.
I just don't need my older brother to order for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Besides, the meatloaf will probably be good, so it's all right.
Yeah.
That's the point where Kenneth comes back to the table, and I think he hears, I don't need my older brother ordering for me, and he says, oh wow, 5 full minutes, and you're already bickering. That's new.
Actually, we're not. We were just talking, okay? You don't have to educate us.
Hey, don't get snappy with me, Sherman. I've had a long day.
Yeah, we've all had a long day. This is bickering, huh? What we're doing now is bickering. What we were doing is not. It's just being brothers.
Well, it's hard to tell the difference, trust me. Did you get something? Did you talk to the waiter?
Yeah, I talked to the waiter. I've ordered meatloaf, which you probably hate, but hey.
Wow, you're reading my mind. I actually don't care for it one bit. If that's the only thing they have in this backwater town, then that should be enough.
Don't be so judgmental. These are probably really nice people. Salt of the earth or something like that.
real nice people who would drag your brother in the back of a truck if they knew he holds his tongue because he's not gonna say it out loud.
Yeah, shut up, man. Kenneth.
Okay, well, let's just enjoy ourselves, okay? These people seem harmless, so we can just sit back for once and eat.
Yeah, Jerry, tell him about the guy with the funny head.
Jerry kind of motions back at the guy and does this like hat falling off the side of his head thing.
I'm gonna use a plot point to introduce an NPC here. I'm gonna say that my cousin strides into the diner, the one from the billboards.
So, do you want to describe your cousin, or do you want me to do it? If you have an idea of what he looks like.
I think he like was groomed in much the same way that Kenneth was. So it's just that like the standard haircut, no beard, like a strong jawline, flashing the smile, just very clean cut. He's a little more rugged than Kenneth is because he was like he grew up in the countryside rather than Kenneth was a little more suburban.
Yeah, so Judge Roberts enters in with a newspaper under his arm, and he seems delighted. He enters the diner, and he shouts, "Franklin!" He snaps the newspaper. "Have you seen the news?" And suddenly everyone on the diner, the farmer and the tracker, and another couple of persons that are leaving the bedroom, they all share at the front news of the newspaper, and you see Muhammad Ali declared guilty of draft evasion. Finally, this filthy traitor has been surrendered to justice. Finally, we'll have a symbol to what happens to those that refuse the government. And everyone is cheering and going into impromptu patriotic demonstration. Somehow there is an American flag being waved in the back.
Oh boy, how is Jerry taking this?
Yeah, Jerry's like holding his tongue. Wow, I don't know. Jerry is like, this is a good question. You know what? I think wow, I'm so conflicted right now. I want Jerry to make a moral stand, but it's also like so obviously a bad idea that but yeah, I think he's gonna do it.
Because it's a bad idea, I'm tempting it with the plot point. I'm gonna give you a plot point if you do it.
All right, I'll do it. Yeah. So Jerry, I think Jerry turns around and stands up. Now this was also, so this is Kenneth's cousin, who's like looks almost like Kenneth, who's like standing up, who's holding up the paper and saying this.
Yeah. The most honorable Judge Roberts.
Yeah. So I think it's actually more interesting than if Jerry starts off just hearing this, and Jerry, without seeing who says it, just responds kind of almost, reflexively, says, he's not a traitor. He stood up for his beliefs. And then after saying that, Jerry turns around and sees that it's Robert's lookalike, and so like looks between Kenneth and the judge. It's like, what just happened?
And Sherman will frantically try to get him to sit down and shut up.
Oh my god, Kenneth is just panicking now. He's just like trying to cover his face with his hands, and like ideas running through his brain on how he's gonna get out of this.
So your cousin just goes red in the face, and he still has not noticed you. Instead, he sees this whelp, this rascal, this upstart, this blue collar boy just speak over him. So make your moral stand. You're muted.
Sorry, I was like checking to see if I'm rising and falling, how things change. But I'm
You're
still just
rising.
0 for this. Okay, I'm rising, but I'm 0 for the rule, 0 modifier. So here we
I think you
go.
get +2 from your arc, no?
Oh, does my arc itself give me a plus and a minus?
Does it?
I saw it in the rules. I was wondering why it has a plus and a minus if it's not going to impact anything. So it's in page 62. It says blah blah blah. I'm rolling with personality, and since I'm flat, there's no other modifier.
It's true.
Well, there's modifiers for the like for example, it says that when my character in the beta rules, but not on the character keeper, it says when I'm rising, my personality roll is +1, and when I'm falling, my morality is -1.
Yeah, when it means modifier is that your archetype has attributes that change depending on if you are rising or falling.
Yeah,
So
my archetype modifier.
Yeah, so that's the modifier that they mean, not the flat arc.
Okay.
Okay. In any case, I totally failed. I gotta wait. What? Oh, now it's different. Now I'm confused. I thought I failed. Now it says 7.
Well,
all right, then I guess I got a 7.
Okay, so you get a plot point. You get +1 arc. So as you say that, people start muttering, and Franklin is standing there with a tray of 3 meatloaves, and he say, "Well, I remember when I saw his championship, me and Power went all the way to the big city to see it, and I don't think Ali is a coward. He might be a lot of things, but the coward he's not." Your cousin starts getting irate. Yeah, just because a traitor is brave does not make him less of a traitor. You should do well remembering that, boy. And he's speaking directly to Jerry.
Yeah. This is a country that is founded on being able to speak our mind, right? If everyone just had to obey the law of the land, we never would have been America. We'd still be under King George.
Well, but freedom is not free. It is paid with blood. And
yeah, whose blood? Yours?
I did my part. Every member of my family did my part. The Roberts are a very noble family.
I think I'm going to stand up at that.
Oh, go for it.
What is this guy's name? What's a good name for him? A really nasty name, something I can call him.
Lashan. I think Charles.
Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth stands up and he says, "Oh, shut up, Charlie. You snoop money out of Grandma's purse every single day. Who are you to talk about morality? Half of our family's fortune comes from selling slaves anyway." Yeah, that's how your campaign was financed, by the way. Slave money.
Kenny, what are you doing here?
Minding my own business, which is what you should be doing, instead of going inside diners and getting people agitated. What kind of person are you? What's your problem?
This is my town. And here, we're on the Senate, We don't tolerate traitors. We know what the country is about.
Oh, this is your town. I thought this was America. I thought this was the land of the free. These people don't obey you. They have their right to their own opinions. They decide what they think about. They're not some mob you can manipulate with your inflammatory media gossip.
Okay, so what is Kenneth trying to do and why?
I'm condemning him to try to get everyone against him so he can just leave and we can be safe.
Okay, so you're spending a plot point to fall.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
It could be a moral stand as well, but I really want people to get against him. So
Yeah, get to Charlie.
get Charlie. I got an 8 plus nothing. I got an 8.
Okay, so you get a plot point. You get -1.
I'm glad again.
Yeah. And Charlie seems indeed too flustered. I'm gonna talk to your parents, and they will be very disappointed that you speak to your cousin like that. And
okay, Grandma.
and he's going his way out as he's going over the threshold of the door. I really hope that none of you end up in my courtroom while you are here.
I don't have a comeback for that.
And he just leaves.
Yeah, that sounds like a good scene right there.
Yeah, but I will say I'm going to offer Sabine a conflict point, a plot point, because there seems really the behavior of these two is in conflict with what Sherman believes.
Yeah, also there are actually Kenneth isn't actually protecting Jerry at that point. He's just out for, I don't know what, prove himself against his cousin, who seems to believe that his parents have some say over him. So I will just growl at him and say, yeah, great, you made a point. That was very subtle. How is that going to help us, actually? You said you were protecting my brother. That doesn't look like protecting. You've riled up the judge. Next thing what will happen is that he'll get the sheriff on our heels. And you saw that jaw, right? That guy is probably cracking nuts with his jaw muscles for fun. I don't want him to crack my nuts. Sorry for bad language.
I plopped down on the couch of the booth and I'm like, I don't know if you noticed, Sherman, I just diffused this whole mess, okay? Jerry spoke out of turn, he messed with the wrong person, and I got him to run out of here with his tail between his legs in his town.
Diffused. That's what you call diffused. This guy is angry, and this guy's an authority. Okay, you might have won over these funny people in this diner, but you haven't kept us safe, and that you said you would do that. That wasn't keeping anybody safe. Confronting your cousin because you're pissed, because he doesn't follow your vaunted politics.
Oh, forgive me for thinking people shouldn't die in a pointless war, Sherman.
Well, yeah, then you said you keep him safe. What you did wasn't. I don't care about your beliefs, but you seem to care more about your beliefs than you care about my brother.
They're the same thing.
I'm disappointed. I am. No, they're not. They are not.
I'm saving your brother because I believe he shouldn't die in some ridiculous jungle out there fighting for bullshit reasons.
They are fighting for democracy. That is not a bullshit reason.
Democracy? The same kind of democracy that got that guy elected? Is that what we want to bring to them?
Yeah, well, somebody elected him, right? Somebody elected you. So maybe you should think about that. People wanted him.
Jerry would like to...
Go ahead.
Jerry would like to interrupt this this conversation, but you're having such a good exchange. I don't want to... at the same time, I want to interrupt and not interrupt.
Let me just get one more blowout out of the park.
Well, I could roll. I could just roll. And
what Sherman wants from this, and why is he so upset?
Sherman's upset because the whole thing is blowing out of all proportions. That judge is never going to let us go without any kind of further inspection. And he thinks that it would be a good idea to just leave now and stop stop just creating conflict, right? And he wants to protect, well, what does he want? No, I think I think I will spend a plot point. No, I'm done with Kennen. I'm on the wrong page, but I think I want to enforce my will, actually.
Yeah, I think it fits perfectly. Go for it.
And what do I have to do? I have 2 plot points. I have to spend one now because I'm shifting my arc, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are rising, so you want to be falling so that you can enforce your will.
Yes. Okay. So what do I mark then? Do I put the 2 rising arcs?
No. Leave the arcs. You just count as failing to make the move.
Okay. Cool. So I roll blah, 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 with more. No, I roll with personality. Good thing I've got a personality.
Do you have a modification?
No, I don't have. I don't have enough personality. I've rolled a 3, so I've got 4. Yay!
Yeah. So, well,
so I'm not enforcing my will. We're just bickering.
Yeah. So this conflict is not going to be solved on chapter 2. It seems that you blame him on this situation, and you get -1 arc. So, Kenneth, do you think that Sherman has a point, and you went too far? Because if you don't, you get +1 arc.
Yeah, he doesn't have any point. He's just a big old coward who just wants to conform to the establishment. He doesn't see that the big picture is the only picture, that fighting against the war is protecting Jerry.
So, as you are bickering, suddenly you notice that the diner is so quiet, everyone looking at you, the 3 strangers that stood in front of the biggest authority figure in the town. And it's so quiet that you can hear the swing of the ladies' room, and you can hear the flushing of the toilet, and you see a woman putting her shades as she's chewing bubblegum. And Jerry, you recognize the federal agent. She sits on your boot and puts her feet on top of the table. Special Agent Karen Hill, I think we have to talk. And I think we're gonna go to chapter 3.
Nice.
Can I have a mini bio break, or are we
I was going to
finished?
suggest that.
Okay. Yeah. Please.
Let's take 5. Then we either finish this chapter or the next.
Cool.
Okay.
Sabine, I was thinking we always manage to find ourselves in the same discussion, like in Leandro's game, when you were the activist and I was the cop. We just switched sides.
Right, yeah. Apparently. Well,
that's what we got for playing games in the US.
I guess, yeah.
Like in another game, I think it was Heaven in the Dust is the name of the system, about Greek gods in the Great Depression. And we were like, Sabine was playing the side character in the scene where she's a labor organizer, and I was playing this cop who just wanted to protect the establishment, and we had basically the same discussion.
Yeah, basically it was the same discussion, right?
Just on different sides.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm liking this game a lot. It's a shame that it's just a one-shot, because it really feels like what you were saying at the beginning, that it's built for slow play.
I really like it. I mean, the promise on the Kickstarter, it really delivers. I really want to play this more. Maybe later iterations of the rules, because some things are still confusing. But yeah, I really want to revisit this.
Yeah, I think the mechanics are a bit fiddly for now, but maybe I'm just not understanding them right. But I think they're a bit fiddly with the rising and falling, and now I spend a plot point and I'm switching arcs and what? Okay.
Yeah, it's still, I can see where they want to go, but I don't still think they are quite there yet. So it needs polish. So now we're gonna go with chapter 3, and in chapter 3 is when we engage fully, where everyone engages with the main conflict, and we're gonna move on once a character enters the cave. So when they go to confront really the climax of the story. So let's update our motivations for the chapter.
I think more than ever, Jerry just wants to not get drafted, despite himself.
I still kind of want to protect Kenneth, but I also want to protect Jerry from Kenneth. But because I think Sherman feels that Jerry is just a gaming piece almost to Kenneth, to make a point instead of a person who needs to get to safety. Yeah. So he wants to protect him from being used as an example or something by Kenneth, whatever.
Yeah, I'm with the same thing still. I still want to help Jerry evade the draft, and right now that means getting out of this town without getting arrested.
So we go back to the diner and we see Federal Agent Hill. Your IDs, please.
Jerry just turns ashen white, and his eyes, he like kind of freezes, like he doesn't move his head, but his eyes dart back and forth between Kenneth and Sherman.
Well, Sherman will take out his ID, and he'll say, "Hey, this is my younger brother. He forgot his ID. He's a bit of a flake."
Funny, he is the right age.
He's not actually. He's just 17.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to ask your ID, don't I, Senator?
Not a senator anymore, Agent. Not anymore.
Yeah. I think that must be nice to be so privileged that you can stop being something anymore. Anyway.
Yeah. Not a lot of people have the choice of what to do with their lives these days.
Indeed. So I suppose you cannot go back home and get your ID, don't you, young boy?
We're on our way to our end, and we can't really turn back. It would be hugely inconvenient. I mean, if you really want to, we could, but
yeah.
But you have my ID.
Yes, I do. And I guess this could be enough. But what if I am to look deeper into this? Maybe I should not. Maybe I should let this go. Nothing happened. I did not overhear anything that happened in this diner. Will that be nice?
Yeah, I guess, if you think so.
And it would be the truth because nothing did happen.
Exactly,
I-
exactly.
We exchanged some words with my cousin, but no crime was committed here, was it? I'm just trying to help my good friends from when I was growing up in the small neighborhood that I was raised in to visit their inn. They asked me
Yeah,
to give them a ride, and I'm giving them. I'm not doing anything else.
indeed. And we can go with that story. There can be a scandal involved, and because let's be honest, when you have certain pedigree, any kind of scrutiny, even if it's not true, well, what is that they say? The wife of Caesar must be beyond even doubt. Yeah, I guess the same can be said about the wives of the Roberts.
Ma'am, it seems like you might want something.
Well, you're right. I have no interest at all in a draft dodger. And she looks at Jerry.
Good thing that there's none here.
Indeed. But, who has a lot of interest in draft dodgers?
The US Army.
Not really. They
Sheriff?
prefer soldiers. No, not the sheriff. The sheriff just wants to lord around his town. I mean, hippies. The counterculture movement. She points at the photo of Muhammad Ali. These people, they care a lot about draft dodging, and I care a lot about them. I have a proposition.
You want us to become hippies.
Indeed, I know there is a moving, I don't know what to call it, commune, caravan, whatever they organize themselves. They are stationed around Troy now. And I figured that I could go there, but it will be messy. I don't know how many guns they have, how many people they have, or what kind of stuff they might be involved with. It can get nasty. Because at the end of the day, I still have to pack some bodies on planes. And I cannot do that if they are in body bags. So I would rather that you go there, you gain their trust, and you let me in quietly. And I let any of you go in without looking too close into matters pertaining arms.
So you're asking us to go and scope out these hippies and basically like be a front for you so that you can get in there and find out what they're doing wrong and bust them for it?
Yeah, just give me an excuse or set me a trap, something. Once I have them in my custody, then you're free to go. I've been after them for 10 months already, and I'm not making any progress. It's becoming really frustrating.
I mean,
So, yeah, go
is it-
ahead, Jerry.
is it what do you think they're doing wrong?
Drugs, free love, socialism.
Yeah, but free love isn't actually forbidden.
Well, it is depending how you do it.
Oh, and I think Sherman goes a slightly deeper shade of pink.
Don't
So
worry.
you're saying you want us to go and associate with sodomites so that we can get some dirt for you, huh?
Well, it's either the Sodomites or Vietnam.
Yeah, I think Kenneth is just going to step in and say, you know what? We'll do it. We'll just do it. No problem. We'll just go right on there, mingle with the hippies. How are we supposed to get in contact with you?
Oh, you are very eager, Senator. I wonder.
I just want to get off my game, officer.
Yeah.
I'm not spending one more minute in this crazy shithole of a town, if you forgive me.
Yeah, but you know, I wonder if any of the hipsters recognizes you and what you voted for. Maybe they'll not be so happy to see you. I am personally curious. I want to see the limits of their peace and love when they see the face that signals so many people to death.
They're hippies. They don't know what's happening half of the time. They won't recognize me.
I admire your confidence, Senator, but I guess that's why you got elected.
You said something about them having guns? That doesn't sound like hippies. It sounds like a cult.
Well, is there really any difference?
I'm looking to Kenneth because I don't know the difference.
Well, we can argue semantics all day long. That's not going to get us on the road any faster. And I want to beat the rains. When it starts raining down here, it just never stops.
Yeah, okay, so we go and infiltrate the hippies and tell you what kind of laws they're breaking, and then you let us be on our way, which without any further complication, right?
Yeah. I think that would be acceptable terms.
And
sure,
I push,
it doesn't take long.
I push Jerry and say, next time you don't forget your ID, Jerry.
Yeah, sorry.
See you around, Jerry, and hope you don't get into any problem before you leave Troy.
Do we have to roll anything to resolve this scene?
I was thinking about that, and I don't see anything, because really the conflict is not solved, and I don't see anything that applies. So basically, this is setting up the conflict now, the big arching one, I think. So now the question is, what conflicts you create to get this moving?
So we only got about like 40 minutes of session left, right?
Yeah, I think it will probably be on this chapter. So I think we should end up aim for a cliffhanger, maybe joining the EPs.
Or maybe just going. I think I can see a conflict where we are arguing about what we're going to do, if we're going to go to the hippies or if we just continue on our way to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I was just... They don't have GPS at this point.
Yeah, that's true. So, we just got lost. We did not find any hippies, and we found ourselves a...
Yeah.
But even that is a choice, and even that is entering the cave, defying the federal government fully on, or infiltrating the hipsters. Hipsters is another thing. So as she leaves, Franklin comes and sits with you, and he brought hot cocoa, and he got some Irish coffee for the two men. And he seems very worried. You are a very brave young man, and he seems to blush a little looking at Sherman, and you seem very dignified folks, and I will not like to see any of you getting in trouble.
Well,
but you need...
We're not in trouble. Nobody's in trouble. We are just going to our end. I don't know why everybody's making such a big deal about it. I'm clearly uncomfortable with him sitting next to me, but also I'm liking it, and I'm totally, yeah, like, oh.
It seems that frankly he's not liking what he sees as a lie, especially after all that happened between you and the judge and Agent Hill. So how do you reassure him that you're not in trouble?
How do I reassure him I'm not in trouble?
Also, get a plot point because I forced this on you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's totally. Yeah, I will assure him that I am not in trouble. There is no I can just lie to him, right?
I mean, it can be seen as a befriend.
Yeah, I like to befriend. Now I had two rising arc, and then now I have a falling arc. So
I think you are still at positive, right?
yeah, I am.
Yeah,
You
so
don't
you are still...
the other side. You just remove one. You take a step down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
You are still rising.
So I'm still rising. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'll try to befriend him with my scintillating personality. I'm Sherman. I'm using the blue dice. Blue's friendly, but not friendly enough. I guess I rolled a 5. I have a 6. So I am too flustered to really convince him that nothing is going on. I'm just like, no, everything is very fine. We're just, there's no trouble. We just talked to this nice lady. She wanted to, she wanted to have some advice where to go to Athens. That's not so far away. I've got a map. I'm good at reading maps.
So you get -1 arc, and
oh no,
yeah, you're flat. So frankly, he really seems to be taking a liking to you, but after you are outright lying to him, even with good intentions, you cannot see the good intentions. So he just feels a bit insulted that he opened to you and was reaching out for you. But then you just shut him off and just rises, well, if you need something, I'll be in the kitchen. And he leaves the three of you.
Hey, wait a minute, I say. Jerry's like, before Franklin can get up from that, I'm gonna be like, hey, so Franklin, you seem to know your way around this town, and you seem like a good judge of people. I really admire you, like, speaking your mind when Judge Roberts was here, and I'm wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about what's going on here in town. I'm going to. I think I'm trying for befriend, establish goodwill, establish trust, and some goodwill with him. And I want to ask, I want to use this to move into asking if he knows anything about the hippies, and if he can tell us something about them.
Okay, so spend a plot point to create this conflict and roll for it.
Okay, spend a plot point. Okay, so I will go ahead and roll. And that's, let's see, personality. So I'm +1 because I'm rising for personality. Well, the +1 won't help me. I rolled snake eyes. So I lose a plot point and my arc goes down 1.
Yeah, let's say that you're rising because you are clearly manipulating. And
yeah,
frankly says the leader of the hipster groups, she is my sister, and I can introduce you to her, but I would rather, if you did not get the feds involved, because it will break my mom's heart if, it's bad enough that she's going around with these peoples and their drugs. If she was going to jail after that, it will be too much. So, can you promise me that nothing will happen to her?
Yeah. Yeah. You're totally right. Don't worry about it. We don't want any trouble here. I'm on your side, Franklin. Yeah.
And Franklin seems at this, and so I leave behind the diner. I leave a few things that I managed to sneak out of the kitchen, stuff that will be thrown away soon, and I pack it for them, and they come around midnight and get it. So if you wait in the back, you might encounter them tonight.
Okay, cool.
I would like to have a word with Jerry before we go through with this.
I would like to have a word with the two of you before we go through with this.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, because when Franklin's gonna, I'll turn to you and say, "What are we doing? Let's just go."
I mean, it's not a bad plan to get in touch with the hippies. They know how to evade the cops, and that's what we need to do right now.
That's true. They probably know a safer way into Canada. But then we won't tell Karen Hill anything about it. We'll meet them, we'll learn what we can from them, and then we'll take off. We'll get out of here, and we'll get to Canada. A safer way, maybe.
Look, these hippies might be dangerous, right? I mean, they might have guns. You don't know if they're nice little flower children or if they're actually a dangerous murder cult. We don't know that.
Sherman, people don't talk about free love and then going around killing each other. That's just like propaganda. It's like that stupid Reefer Madness movie. It's not real.
Yeah, well, you know marijuana is dangerous. It's a gateway drug anyway, and nobody should do it. And yeah, that's actually what I'm afraid of. That they're giving us drugs, and then they're trying to free love us. So you know what I'm talking about. No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And some free drugs and free love might do you some good, Sherman.
What are you talking about? You know, I mean, you're the flaky one. You're the kind of guy who is too weak to go to war. Actually.
Would you quit that already? Look, the reason I'm not going to war is because it's an immoral war. Not that I couldn't be a soldier. Thanks a lot, Sherman.
Yeah, it's
Sherman.
not.
I can be a soldier. I can stand up for what I believe in.
The fact that your brother is not equipped to kill innocent people is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't want him to go and kill anybody, but I also don't want him to go and take drugs and indulge in free love and get what you don't know what kind of diseases these people have. So on.
No, wait. You know what, Sherman? You do actually want him to go and kill people. Not him personally. You want other people to go there and do that because you support this war. That's what you've been saying the whole time, that it's okay to go there and kill people as long as we're bringing democracy.
Yeah, I am. I think that's an important thing because this war is going on anyway, with or without us.
Well, it sure wouldn't be if it wasn't for me. So let me tell you, this war wouldn't be happening organically. Wars don't just happen. They happen because people in power want more power.
Yeah, and we're fighting that, actually. That's what we're doing over there, Kenneth. I can't believe we're discussing this again. Let's just get to fucking... Oh, sorry. Freaking whatever. Let's just go to Canada. And,
Sherman, you're impossible.
No, I am not impossible. I want you to be safe, all of you.
Well, you know what? Let's see what Jerry thinks. How about that? He doesn't need his big brother with all his misguided views tainting his mind.
Jerry is a kid. He thinks whatever propaganda you're putting inside his head.
You saw the way he stood up to the way he stood up to Charlie. He can think
Yeah, and
for
that
himself.
was totally clever because it got this fed on our heels. Like, we should keep a low profile. Why don't you understand this? We are breaking the fucking law, and we shouldn't make a spectacle of ourselves while we're doing it.
Well, we're on the radar now, so let's just figure out how to get off the radar. If we're outlaws, then let's go talk to other outlaws and be better outlaws.
I don't want to be an outlaw.
And you can leave, Sherman. How about that? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your sister? Would she like to be married to an outlaw?
Wow. Since we started on that, you were getting awful close to the waiter, Sherman.
What are you talking about? I was just a waiter.
Oh, do you get flustered near every waiter you meet?
I was flustered because I actually lied to an FBI agent. That's why I'm flustered. Not flustered because of some waiter.
Oh, Sherman, it sure seems like you're not that interested in marrying my sister anyway.
Your sister's nice. I like her.
Oh yeah, that's what a man in love says.
Oh, gosh, should I sing you a serenade? That's not much of your business, right?
Well, it is my business. She's my sister, and I have a goal to achieve, and you're in my way.
What goal do you have to achieve?
I want to get Jerry past the border, and the best way to do this now is go with the hippies. Why can't you get that?
Because I think we're making a dangerous detour. That's the reason.
I think it's time for a roll on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. We are not going anywhere.
I think it's time for a lot of rolls. So, first of all, we have the conflict between the brothers. So let's solve that first, because it was the first part of the beginning. So I will say that you were moralizing at Jerry. Is that correct? Or you
yeah, sure. I love moralizing at Jerry. Also, all I can roll is rally, because I am. Oh, I can spend plot point, right, to roll, make a moral stand. Oh, cool. I'm spending a plot point, and I'm making a moral stand, because that's what's important, I guess, to Sherman.
The family honor.
Stupid. Oh no, he doesn't make it.
Oh shit. So you go deep into -1. So Jerry, did the words of your brother reach out? Are you impressed by his honorable standing, or you still think no, I'm right?
Oh yeah, I'm totally not agreeing with Sherman on this point.
Okay, so you get +1 arc.
All right.
And on the next conflict, which was there was the Rose conflict, and oh yeah, the boy next door conflict. So let's first roll the boy next door conflict, which I think it was initiated by Kenneth. So
yeah.
Kenneth, what would you say that was when you called him out on that?
I don't know. It sounds like condemned for the name of the move, but then the description of the move doesn't fit it.
No.
It's a negative move for sure, but there's nothing that fits it.
I don't know. Maybe it was navigate others, because he was moralizing, and you're just wait. This you calling it out. You are in no position to call it out.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's not like he's never actually saying that it's a bad thing. He's just saying, like, I mean, read the writing on the wall.
Yeah, just pointing out what it is.
Call a spade. I got a 6, and Navigator's personality. Thank God I didn't pick the other archetype, and I got a 7.
Okay, so you get +1 arc, and you get a plot point. So yeah, you pointed it out, and indeed that goes out that. Wait, what is the effect of the other side? If the other is a novel character. Okay, so what is Sherman's take on that? On being called out or his attraction to Franklin? Does he accept that, or he's digging his heels and saying, no, my feelings are not true. It's a distraction.
Well, if I'm reading that conversation we had, right, he's digging his heels. He's not willing to accept that now. Right now, he's not willing to accept, especially if it's in such a confrontational way that we're talking.
Yeah, so you don't get the Blizzard for going on with it. Now we're gonna go with the rules, and I'll say that in this case, it's Sherman that is trying to convince Kenneth that his feelings for his sister are sincere. What would that be?
That would be lying again. I mean,
God.
I am falling, so I can try to enforce my will, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that seems like I don't want to talk about this anyway. That's between me and her, and you don't have anything to say to that. Because, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, as personality, which I am not too bad, but probably will roll stupidly. No, I've got an 11. Ha.
Yeah, so you have narrative control. So you get 1 plot point, you get -1 arc.
Cool. I'm flat again. How fitting.
So now,
and if I concede, I get +1 arc, right?
Yeah, let's see what exactly you will be conceding to. So what is Sherman doing and wants to do? What he wants to leave an impression about Rose?
Well, Sherman will again iterate that this is between him and Rose, and that should be Rose's decision and not Kenneth's.
So Kenneth accepts that?
I think I'll accept it. I think we got pushed around all our lives, and I know that my sisters will not be a pushover when it comes to her marriage. So if Sherman is saying that they really have a thing, I'm gonna trust him.
Okay, so so you get +1 arc to respecting the autonomy of your sister. Yeah. So at that point, you just leave the diner, I guess. So how are the 3 of you spending the time until the night?
Well, we haven't actually decided what we're going to do.
That's true, but I think it's a good moment to see what each of you is doing on the meantime before we make the decision. To have a bit of time for each of you and their thoughts.
Yeah. I think that so Jerry is actually aside from the things that we've already discussed, we're like pressured by the agent and maybe we can get info out of them. Jerry is also kind of like secretly like fascinated by the hippies and like wants to fit in with them and is kind of like, oh yeah, maybe we'll get to do some drugs and smoke a little doobie, right? Like that's what Jerry's thinking. So Jerry's kind of like yeah, maybe there's like a used clothing store around somewhere. We could find some like some like cooler outfits or something. Jerry's kind of thinking like, how can we like get ready and fit in for these hippies, right? Jerry's got his ulterior motives too. He's like, yeah, we got to dress you up, Sherman. You're not gonna fit in. They're like what's with that preppy clothes you got on? We gotta get you like a t-shirt and here, put this on.
So Jerry's going with his brother. He's not going alone.
I'm gonna try and get everybody. I'm actually so I think related to that, I think I'm gonna try a rally roll to get everybody else on board with this idea of, yeah, let's go hang out with the hippies, have a good time, get some information after we befriend them on, how to get to Canada, and then let's blast out of here and leave to Canada before dawn.
I like that. So spend a plot point and make that rally roll.
Okay. let's see. And so that's now that's a morality, so I'm flat on that. Okay. Ooh, I failed.
Well, so you get -1 arc because how will that be justified narratively? What is Jerry thinking about these two adults? And he is supposedly relying. What is the thing that he actually wants that he cannot admit to them? What he's hoping to score?
Well, I mean, I'm imagining that that maybe what's happening is that like his kind of excitement for hanging out with the hippies is maybe too transparent, and both Kenneth and Sherman are like, oh, okay, yeah, right, Jerry, you just want to party with the hippies. Nice try.
Okay, so
Something like that.
how do the two of you react, and are you willing to go with him buying hippie stuff?
He can go alone and buy hippie stuff, and I'll wrap a bandana around my head, but he can go alone. I'll just look up routes. Maybe I'll find something better, some better way to get to Canada than to talk to some ridiculous hippies.
Okay, you get +1 arc then.
Cool.
I'm gonna concede. I'm gonna go, but it's a partial concede because, like, I want us to fit in with the hippies, but I don't want Jerry to get carried away. This is a mission. Like, we're going in, we're getting information, we're going out. We're not joining a commune. We're not gonna live with the most at-risk group there is. Like, we're not here to resist. We're here to survive.
So you go to what seems to be like a thrifty shop. And you see a lot of loose clothing, second-hand clothing. You see that most of the stuff seems to be left by travelers that went into Troy and left it. And as you are going to the stuff, you see a young woman that cannot be much older than Jerry. She has blonde hair that is dyed green and purple, and she seems to be checking Sherry out, and she seems to get close. Hey, those will look good on you. As she points to the leather jacket that he's holding.
The leather jacket, the one with the fringe on it. Yeah, Jerry puts it on, and he's like kind of like showing it off. He's like stands a little taller. He's like, yeah, totally trying to flirt with her. He's like, oh yeah, cool, thanks. Are you so what's where's a cool place to hang out in this town? We're just rolling through.
Far out. Do you want to come check out the latest music that we have there? I mean, we don't bring it around the squares, but we go into the desert to listen to it, and maybe try some communion with the nation there.
Yeah, right on. That sounds good. I love it. Is there something going on tonight?
Well, there's something going out now. I was just picking something fresh, to get loose. But yeah, just leave your dad behind and come with us.
Right on. All right. Yeah, I'm on board. Does Jerry leave? Does Jerry leave? Wait a minute. Is Jerry gonna leave Kenneth? Oh no.
That's the conflict now.
Oh, Jerry's gonna be really conflicted, actually.
Well, get a plot point for this. Yeah.
I think I think Jerry's going to be really susceptible to Kenneth at this point. I think Jerry really wants to go, but he also is like relying on Kenneth. I mean, it's Kenneth's car, for example, right? I think, yeah.
I think you
So
are.
was Kenneth was Kenneth there for the conversation? Did Kenneth overhear this, or was Kenneth like
Well,
the other part of the store or
I
someplace?
won't say that it seems he did not. If he actually did, will depend on the role, I guess. I mean, he knows that you are talking with the girl, but so he's
Yeah.
kind of giving you a space. I think Kenneth is cool.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm like, I say to the girl, I'll be right back. You know, and then I walk over to Kenneth, and I'm like torn. I'm like, I really want to go with the girl, but I don't want to piss off Kenneth. And I'm like, I'm just trying to like feel out Kenneth, right? So I go up to Kenneth, and I'm like, hey, look, this like cool local girl. She's like telling me there's this music thing going on. It's probably where the hippies are hanging out, but she's like, you're gonna have to play cool. Like, she thinks you're my dad or something, and you're gonna have to like play cool, right? Like, you want it? Let's do this. Let's like go hang out. I'm actually more worried about Sherman than you, but you're gonna have to like convince him you're not like a square. All right?
Okay.
Oh my god.
I think you are protecting yourself from your worst instincts. So go for it.
Me protecting myself from my worst instincts. Okay. Let's see. Boom, boom. At least I get a +2 on this. Ah, boom. So that'll be a 10.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
so you have full narrative control. You get +1. You get a plot point, and let's see. You have narrative control, and then let's see how Kenneth reacts.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I'm kind of like looking back at the girl and that I was talking to before, and I'm kind of like, this guy's cool. He's good, right? And I go up to Kenneth, and I'm like, I put my arm around Kenneth, you know, so it looks like he's not my dad. It's like more like buddy buddy, right? And Kenneth maybe hasn't quite seen this before, right? Because I think I'm much more like respectful of Kenneth. And this time I'm like, suddenly I'm like really like chummy, like we're buddies to you. And I'm like, look, I got us an in with the hippies, but you know, like this cool girl over here invited us to go hang out, to listen to some music out in the desert, but like, she thinks you're square. You gotta like loosen up a little bit. You ready, Kenneth? Let's do this.
I think he looks at you, and then he looks at the girl, and he's like, he wants to say something bad, but then he just stops for a second and think, okay, this is actually a fairly good thing that's happening. But what about Sherman?
I don't know about Sherman. We're just gonna have to maybe I don't know. Maybe we just get Sherman, like pick Sherman up later on or something. I don't know. We can ask Sherman but I don't think Sherman's gonna fit in, right? I mean, honestly, Sherman's probably just gonna cause trouble, like talking the way he does. Where is Sherman right now?
I think he's at the car, and he's checking the maps like he said he would, because he likes checking maps. That's kind of soothing after all this conflict and lying to an FBI agent, and she knows his name, so that could be his bar exam and his whole lawyer career going through in the toilet, right? And nobody seems to get that.
Yeah. All right.
He's feeling a little self-pity.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Kenneth just says, look, if we just bail on Sherman out of the blue, he's going to just go straight up to that agent and have her invade the commune to rescue us or whatever. But you go, Jerry. You go have fun. I'll just sweet talk Sherman into coming after you, and maybe that'll convince him to get us with the hippies finally.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Actually, I have an idea. Go talk to Sherman and tell him that we're gonna go hang out with these people in the desert, and I'll take care of it. I'll let him know that we're all gonna come, and it'll be okay. We'll all go together. I'll meet you out by the car, and then Jerry goes over to the woman and says, "Hey, look, so that's my friend Kenneth. He's like totally cool, as you can see, and my brother's gonna come too."
Oh, that's great. So shall we go together?
Yeah, right on. Do you need a ride? Do you want to go in a car with us? We got
No,
another seat.
no. I have my own car. You can come with me.
Cool. Yeah, we'll follow along. That sounds awesome.
Right on. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Jerry.
I'm Helen.
Hey, Helen. Great to meet you.
So, question. Does this count as Kenneth going with the plan or not?
That's a very fair question. It's sort of a compromise, right?
I guess Walter should decide this.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like Kenneth is going along with the plan, which makes sense, right? So then he would get the arc for that. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so now the great important scene, which is now, what is Kenneth going to tell to Sherman?
Which is probably going to be the final scene, right?
I think probably the final scene would be immediately after that, just closing in as you get to the hippies, and that's it.
Okay.
That's the end of the chapter.
All right. So Sherman is still in the car checking maps, right?
Yeah, right. He seems to have calmed down a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so Kenneth taps on the window and asks him to come outside.
Yeah, I think he's outside. He's sitting on the hood, like checking this. This large book of maps.
So Kenneth sits next to him and lights up a cigarette. I don't think he smokes actually. He just looks into the distance and he says, "So I have good news and bad news."
And Sherman looks up and he looks at Kenneth rather suspiciously. Notices then that Jerry is missing, and he says, "Yeah, I guess the bad news is that Jerry has run off and joined the circus." Right.
That's close. Jerry has gone ahead to hang out with the hippies for us.
Great. I knew it. He just wants to do drugs.
No, that's not the thing. Jerry's a smart kid. He's just gotten in with a hippie girl, and now he's gonna sweet talk them into letting us into their commune or something.
You get a very unconvinced look from Sherman. Well, I guess we have to follow him then, right?
Yep, sure do. Don't want to leave him all alone there.
Well played, Kenneth.
What? I barely did anything. Jerry came up with this whole thing by himself. I'm just following the boy's ideas. You should give him more credit.
For what?
For being smart. He's not a kid. He knows how to make his way around the world. You need to trust him. He's going to be all alone in Canada after we leave him.
Sherman looks very, very worried about that, actually. Yeah. I'm worried about that, actually, says. I thought he's going to be alone in Canada? I thought you had a plan for him when we went to Canada. Like, is this like we're driving Jerry to Canada and then we drop him off? Is that your darn plan?
Hey, slow down, Sherman. I have a plan. I got an apartment set up for him. I'm going to send him money. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
He would be better if he had his brother with him, but...
What? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
He would be better if he had his brother with him, but you seem adamant on staying in this crap shit country that we're living in right now.
Yeah, right. Like I have any chance of staying in this fucking country after what you did. You all did. And then he goes around the car and gets in and slams the door.
I think we have to make.
I think maybe I'm imagining that just then, like Jerry comes back out and he like gets in the car and he's like kind of puts his hand on Sherman's shoulder and is like, "So Kenneth told you, right? You ready to go party?"
And Sherman just looks pointedly at Kenneth and says, "Yeah, he's a smart kid."
I thought Jerry was gonna go in the hippie girl's car.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah, I can go with the hippie girl and sure.
Yeah.
So I think he's like, we see the car. Like, what's the hippie girl's car like?
It's got flowers painted on it.
Yeah, I would say it's some kind of old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
With
I was gonna say it's a Volkswagen Bug with
stuff.
like flowers
Yeah.
painted on it.
Yeah.
Stereotypical hippie car. I love it. Yeah, so I just turn on the car and I linger for a second as we see the Volkswagen van driving down the road, and I look at Sherman and say, "Final call, lawman. You still have time to salvage what's left of your reputation before we join the savages."
Whatever.
Do I need to make a roll?
I think so, because it's less what happens and how is everyone feeling about this situation. So what was Kenneth doing with this?
It might be navigate if I'm gonna.
Yes, I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got a 9.
Okay, so mark +1 arc, and you get yeah.
I'm locked in rising now.
Yeah, you locked in rising, and you get a plot point. So, what is Sherman's take on this?
Sherman's take on this is that I guess that maybe Kenneth has a plan. He's an adult, he's a senator, he's hoping against hope. Part of him thinks it's probably not going to work out, but another part is thinking, I've always trusted Kenneth, and I think that's the callback to it. And he'll go along.
Okay, so you get +1 arc.
Yeah, and he'll tie a bandana around his head.
Okay, so we get into the two kids ahead. They park their car, and there's already a bonfire, and people they are banging drums. Some of them are dancing around. And what does Jerry does when he sees real life hippies for the first time?
Yeah, Jerry's into it. Jerry's like, right on. If I hope there's I think he's like his first thought is, I hope there's hippies in Canada too. And yeah, I think he's just like trying to meet people and just have a good time. And he's like, he'll like kind of go up to Sherman and Kenneth at some point and be like, yeah, I'm just like, getting information, making sure that we're prepared and for everything. But then when he like goes around and actually starts talking to people, he's just like having a good time. And it's like if someone passes him a doobie, he's like, yeah, and flirting with the girls. Probably not actually asking any questions. Maybe, I guess he probably offhandedly he'll like ask someone, like have you been to Canada, that kind of thing.
Oh, I always wanted to go to the Canada. Oh,
Yeah.
far out. I want to go there and see Tom Star and the Galaxies. What do you listen to, Jerry?
Oh yeah, Tom Star and the Galaxies, they're great. Yeah, and I love their White Rabbit album. That's the best.
You see someone joining in. It's this tall, imposing woman, very athletic, very muscled, with a long, flowing, dark hair. And you immediately see the resemblances that she has with Franklin. So you quickly figure out, oh, this must be her sister. And there is another smaller woman with deep makeup on and hair completely bleached. That she has her arms wrapped around her, and her head rests on her high shoulders, and she's whispering something. And the woman smiles and she says, "Hello, child. What is this about Canada?"
Yeah, I'm looking to go up to Canada. We're just on our way up there.
Ah, that's good. My name is Dorothy, but here they call me Doris.
Hi, Doris. Good to meet you. I'm Jerry. And
Yeah.
over there, he kind of like, I think he's like waving kind of behind him, like toward where Kenneth and Sherman is. Like that's my brother and my friend.
And the second woman, she hugs Doris even more, and she starts to whisper, and she glares at you. Go away. Tell them to go away. Doris, tell them to go get away. And she turns and says, Cassandra, my love, please. And we enter the cave. End of chapter 3.
Nice.
Hope everyone enjoyed. I'm going to stop this and then we can do Rose's